Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to another presentation of the Solid Sports video blog. You're watching it right here on the Solid Sports and Gaming channel. I'm Troy West saying good morning to you. Um, Episode 230. Today's, 290. Today's date is April 30th, 2025. So it's the last day of April. Thank you guys for joining me this morning. Sorry about the late. This was a half hour late. Usually 9:30 usually is my target time, but depending on what my brother's doing in the morning and other things. Oh man, I was a little bit draggy waking up today, so been a rough week. I'll probably talk a little bit about it at the end of the show if I got time. Um, but just try to get through this week. Been a rough week. Hope everybody's week's going well though. Um, Thank you guys for joining us. A lot to talk about. NBA playoffs. Some series ended last night, and some is on the line tonight. We'll get into the whole first round bracket. Um, MLB update. We look at the standings. We will do that first. Look at the MLB standings. Other little news, if there's any little news in the in majors. And then we'll take a look back at the NFL draft. Of course, talk about Sherdeur Sanders. My opinion why he fell so far in the draft. The prank call and all that. We'll talk about Sherdeur. Um, and touch on some NFL teams. Of course, we're gonna do like we did last year. We're gonna do the roundabout series. I don't know if I'm gonna do them in shorts again or if I'm gonna do shows. I want to do the shows, but or I might do both. I might try to do both, do the shows and do the shorts as well. So we had fun with that last year. So and just some final thoughts on some other things. Thank you to everybody that stayed up late. I know I had a few peek in for my Forever Skies live. It went very, very smoothly. We didn't have no hiccups at all. It ran real smooth. So hopefully we go live through the PlayStation more. Um, that was fun last night. We made a lot of progress in the game. So I might try to do a video on that today. Probably not a live, but a recorded video. So stay tuned for that. More Spider-Man 2, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. I think we did the end of that. Um, Other games that sort of you ain't seen in a while, like Pacific Drive. I'm just sort of stuck. That's why. Um, Call of Duty, you just see that randomly. Also, I want to go live with that. Maybe me and my bro Don Parker Don. Y'all know him. If y'all been here for years, you know who he is. My brother, my big bro. We play Call of Duty together pretty much every day. So maybe I should just go live one session and have that on. Um, but appreciate you guys so much for being here. Let's go ahead and get started. Already a half hour late, so I want to get done within an hour if I can. Major League Baseball. Um, uh, Still early in the season with one pretty much over a month in, about to go into May. So it's not well I get into it in a while, but some days ain't off to great starts, but it ain't the end of the world. Still very very early in the season. So let's look at the AFC East first. I mean, American League East, excuse me. Yankees in first place at 18 and 12. Boston in second place at 17 and 14. They the only two teams over 500. Everybody else is under. Tampa at 14 and 15. Toronto 13 and 16. And the Orioles, of course, a team that I root for because I'm from Baltimore and in Baltimore. 11 and 18. My brother, my big brother that I stay with, he was saying, I'm ready to give, basically ready to give up on it. I'm like, not yet. Still early. Yeah, this is not good, but it's still early. There's no need to give up on them yet. But baseball is just like this. Hopefully, this is not who the Orioles are. I mean, they do have a few injuries, so the pitcher staff ain't really been whole yet, which is always an issue with the O's. But I told him, you just be patient. Hopefully things will start clicking. They gotta have a strong next month. This month had to be strong. They have to finish over 500. Start winning some series. Because by after May, and if you're still in this position, then it's gonna be a tough battle. So May is gonna be huge for them. But I told them don't give up on them yet. Don't bury them yet. Still got time. And then with all that, they still let's just look at it like this: you 6 games under 7 games under 500, but you're only 6.5 back of first place, so you're not like buried yet. You know, uh, once you get like 10 under, I mean 10 games back and more than 10 under, then that's when you need to start getting a move on. AL Central, Detroit Tigers. Just saw them a few days ago. They looking good at 18-12. Cleveland Guardians 16-13. Kansas City Royals got off to a high start, but it's cooled off. Now they even at 15-15. Minnesota Twins 13-17. And what you expect for the Chicago White Sox 7-22. And then last place in the Central. The American League West. Seattle with a 1 game lead over the Houston Astros. Texas Rangers right there 16-14. A's at 15-15. Angels, remember the Angels, if it was first place just a week ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago. I think last time I really checked the status, they was up there. Now they started to come back down to earth. They 12-16 and is in last place, but we are within 4.5 games, so still bunched up there in that division. National League. New York Mets 21-9. I think they got the best record in baseball. Juan Soto, Nimoy, Peter Larzo, Francisco Lindor, deep lineup. Then the pitching is matching it. Mets are playing very, very well. We'll see. They already got a 4 game lead over the Philadelphia Phillies at 16-13. My Braves starting to come back. They're only a game under. So they've been playing a better baseball, but I admit they've been playing the Rockies right now. No offense to my boy Good Vibes, but we needed that series. We need to play the Rockies, get back into it. Rockies ain't doing too well. But they're a game under at 14-15. Washington Nationals 13-17, and Miami Marlins at 12-17. So that's your National League East. National League Central, Cubs with a 1.5 game lead over Cincinnati at 18-12. Cincinnati at 16-13. Milwaukee, even 15-15. Then you got St. Louis 12-17, and then Pittsburgh is 11-19 on the season. So still, like I said, still a little bunched up. Now the West, this is probably the best division if you go by just records here. Dodgers are now back in first place, 20-10. Giants 19-11, a game back. San Diego was started off hot, sort of cooled off, 18-11 also. 18-11 as San Francisco 19-11, so they're a game and a half back of first. And then you got Arizona right there, 15-14. And then the poor Rockies, 4-25. Definitely the worst record in baseball, already 15.5 back. With a muffin, that's not good. Now, if you was the Rockies in this position, even if it was any team, being down that much, it's just going to be hard to come back from. But I ain't going, I usually talk about the Rockies because my buddy, he was a loyal subscriber. Yeah, I just ask, I don't assume, but the Rockies are just in a bad place right now. But the Dodgers, this division, I think this is going to be this all year. I think it's possible. Well, it's 6 teams now in the playoffs. So can 4 teams in the main division make it? I'm not sure. Well, you got the 3 division winners. Oh yeah, so yeah, it could be on 3 wild cards. San Francisco, let's just say the Dodgers win the division. San Francisco, San Diego, Arizona, they're going to be in that wild card hut. We'll see if Cincinnati can hold on. Like I said, Milwaukee's been winning that Central Division for a while. Then in the East, you got the Phillies and the Braves. Let's just say the Mets win the division, so it's going to be tough for all 3 of them teams. But all these teams are going to be there at the end. Other teams I gotta probably prove it to me. St. Louis, Nationals, the Marlins. Well, the Rockies. I'm not saying they out, but they pretty much are done. Pittsburgh, those teams, are they going to push back also? Um, so the National League pretty much know, who's going to be there at the end. The American League, same thing. Well, the East, like I said, any of those teams can be there at the end. The Central is sort of deep as well, and the West at the top. You expect the A's to fall off. The Angels are starting to fall off. So, um, baseball, like I said, it's still early. That's why if your team is, like I said, if your team in last place right now, let's just say the Orioles, the Angels, they did start off playing well. Um, you still got a chance, to make a run. Um, at least for a wild card. Even for the division. The division ain't out of reach either. So I told my brother, yeah, don't give up on the O's yet. It's just been a month. Yeah, they're not playing well, but baseball is a long season. You got 100 something, 60 something games. Um, within a week, you could be, well, it'd be crazy, but it's possible. You could be in first place within a week. Like the Yankees could lose six in a row, you win six in a row. I mean, it's possible. Not saying that's going to happen, but it happens in baseball like that. So, um, yeah, just don't, or anybody, even the Rockies, even if you're a Rockies fan, like, yeah, it looks really, really bad for you guys, but it's not over. You got games. You just gotta start winning. Like I said, like mid May, you gotta start. You should start forming to the team that you are. Your opponents change. Throughout the season, under your division. So, um, we'll see. Probably by next week, like I said, this whole thing will look different. That's just how MLB is. So, no major news in the major leagues. No major news. Only thing is, like I said, the the National League looks looks very, very strong. Um, like all those teams, like Philadelphia, like I said, the Mets, my Braves are going to be there, but they get a Kuna back. That still will be a bloodbath there. The National League Central, we pretty much don't know which team going to emerge. It looked like it's going to be the Cubs. The Cubs probably look the best. And then in the West, like I said, the Dodgers probably the best team, but the Giants and the Padres and the Diamondbacks, I don't think are going nowhere. So that's going to be a long, long. But like I said, it looked like this last year also in the West, and then the Dodgers just pulled away and showed that they really was the best team and had put distance between, even though all those teams were still there. Diamondbacks and Padres, I think, still made the playoffs. Um, but yeah, so um, yeah, and Jacob DeGrom is back for the Rangers. I think that's some news. Like if he looked it good. So if he stay healthy, the Rangers is going. The Rangers they just won a title. Um, so Rangers ain't nothing to sneeze at. I think I want to see if how the Astros handle this year. I mean, they've been dominant for so long. And a lot of their core players are gone other than Altuve. Everybody else is either young uh, or they're gone. So there's not the same Astros core. So I want to, can they hold on? Seattle, I also want to see what they do in the second half of the season. The National American League East is going to be also a bloodbath. Also, all those teams are good from top to bottom. The Central, I think the question in the Central is Detroit and Kansas City. They had success last year. Can they build on that? Or will the Guardians use their experience and take control of that division? I think they're the three teams to look at. The Twins, I still think the Twins is a decent team, but they haven't, for some reason, haven't been able to close it down at the end of the season. And the White Sox, not off to a great start again this year. But like I said, it's still early in the season. So, okay, so let's get into the NBA playoffs. NBA playoffs, really pretty much the first round is almost over. Um, tough games last night. Pacers in overtime. defeated the Milwaukee Bucks, so the Bucks are eliminated for the second year in a row by the Pacers in the first round. 4-1 series win for Indiana. They will move on and they will play, excuse me, the Cleveland Cavaliers, who swept Miami. Pistons won last night to stay alive, 3-2, as they go to New York and win the game. Now they go back to Detroit. I think the pressure's a little bit on the Knicks now. I just saw some highlights this morning that Coach Tom Thibodeau basically rolled the dice, had Brunson and Hart on the bench. They didn't get back into the game until it was like 27 seconds left. That definitely hurt the Knicks, and they lost the game by 3. Celtics finally put away the Magic. I think if the Magic, like I said, they stay patient, build around Pablo. I think the Magic. I think the Magic, as you know, earlier this year they was in the top 3 in the East. They started off well, but then Pacharo go down, and a lot of the key guys went down with injury, and they fell back down. They had to, excuse me, had to earn a spot through the play-in. But the Magic was a top 4 team before the injuries, so let's see what they do next year. I think they need a veteran, like a veteran type presence, also on that team. I think that would help them. Um, and like I said, scoring was an issue because Pablo was pretty much doing all the scoring, which I saw in game 2. I think it was one of the games that I've seen. I was like, no, he got to score too much. This is not going to work. It's not going to work. Not in the playoffs. Not so. And the Nuggets defeated the Clippers to go up 3-2, 31-31, 115. Um, Denver, you just can't count out. They won a championship before. Jamal Murray had one of his classic games again. And then the Joker going to do what he do. Kawhi do look great. But now that is they face elimination, can you count on James Harden? He's disappeared in these type of moments. So game 6 is going to be interesting in that series. So if we look at the whole, let's just start at the East. Of course, we got, like I said, we got Cavaliers, Pacers, meeting in the second round. Cleveland swept a series, and Pacers went in 5. So that's would be the meeting there. Boston is into the second round also. They're waiting on the winner of the Knicks Pistons. I think if Detroit, if they take advantage of this home court, if they win game 6, then you got a game 7. Anything can happen. So I think that series is far from over. In the West, Thunder pretty much, other than this game, they destroyed the Memphis Grizzlies to get to the second round. They swept them. I'm leaning Nuggets now to win this series against the Clippers. It will set up a good matchup between them and the Thunder. Lakers play tonight against Minnesota. They down 3-1. Gotta get the Timberwolves credit. Minnesota, they've been the last couple of years, like I didn't expect them to get to the Western Finals last year. Anthony Edwards is the real deal. He sort of ran out of gas last year. Let's see if that's the case this year. Julius Randle has been huge for them. Even Rudy playing defense has played well. So, and who's at home? The Lakers are at home. This is game 5, so the Lakers is at home. Can they force it back to Minnesota? I think they will. I don't think they're gonna go out like that, but I'm not sure if they're gonna come back and win the series. But I think they win tonight and get it back to Minnesota. I think Luka and LeBron had one of those games. I think the one of the role players going to step up, either Rui or Vanderbilt. Somebody I think will step up and have a big game. I think JJ Redick, Coach Redick is going to have to trust. Looking at what happened in this game, he's going to play his bench a little bit more. And I think one of those guys will reward him with that. And I think the Lakers will win tonight. But I think it's going to be a close, tight game. I think Ant-Man is going to be there again. Julius Randle, I think, was being overlooked that he used to be a Laker. LeBron is pretty much the reason why he's gone because they had the young core with Randall and Lonzo Ball, um, that young little core Brandon Ingram. Imagine if they kept those guys. The Lakers, of course, you'd rather have Luka right now, but that wouldn't have been a bad um, squad to keep. Um, so, uh, so he might have a chip on the shoulder because of that. So, and then we got Rockets and the Warriors. Um, Warriors just the experience is just shining in this series for sure. And then now you got all the physicality. I think the Warriors and the Rockets head. And like I said, if it's crunch time, um, Houston don't really have nobody to go to. I mean, I think the closest person you go to is Shagun, but um, other than that, Jalen Green, he had that monster game again. It was a game two where he had 36, 37 points. But other than that, he hasn't played well the whole rest of the series. Um, he's still young. I think this is a good experience. Um, they is at home for game five, so we'll see what kind of fight they got in him. But I think the Warriors eventually is going to win that series and move on. So, um, and that'll be either way. If it's Warriors, T Wolves, Warriors, Lakers, it's going to be a great series in that second round. And then um, I think the Thunder look right now they're the best team in the West for sure. But uh, Denver, you can't Denver can't look past the Nuggets with Joker that championship. Even though Mike Malone is gone, um, but the Nuggets has proven they play good in these situations. So, all right, so it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with these games. Um, Nuggets Clippers that's tomorrow because they just played tonight. Well, yesterday. Yeah, Lakers tonight. Yeah, Warriors tonight. It's an early 7:30 game. So two Western Conference games. I think it's no East games because all of them's over except for Detroit and the Knicks and they play, so they don't play till tomorrow either. And then that's that. So, but these playoffs have been very entertaining. I knew um, these first round series. Well, Denver, the Thunder. Not surprised that they swept the series, but the way they just dominated the Grizz. The Grizz forced a fight in the game four, but the Thunder really looked good. They looked really, really for real this time. I think uh, if you run into them, it's going to be a tough series for you. Nuggets, like I said, proven to be still the Nuggets. At least how they looked against the Clips. Um, Lakers, like I said, I look like I'm gonna be wrong about the Lakers. I thought they would turn it around, get to the finals, but the T Wolves got other plans. The Cavaliers also. Cleveland has impressed me, even though Miami to me was already pretty much in flames. No pun intended. They just didn't look the same without Jimmy. Ain't no go from the AC to the finals. None of that this time. They really was a AC and they looked like it got dominated. Donovan Mitchell and Garland and Allen, everybody looks great for the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's going to be a good series with the Pacers. The Pacers not afraid. They got a decent team. Halliburton, I think he's going to have to be more aggressive. Um, make the Cleveland guards play defense. Miles Turner going to have to be huge for the Pacers in this series as well. So I'm looking forward to that series. That should be good. And look like it's setting up. Look like it's going to be Knicks and Celtics, but I wouldn't count Detroit out yet. Like I said, Detroit get this game, force a game seven. Things will get interesting. Boston, at times, which is they do it at all playoffs. They look like okay, they beatable, when they're not hitting their threes, basically. But when the threes are falling at least a decent pace, it's hard to beat the Celtics. And I guess Jason Tatum's wrist is fine. He fell on his wrist when it was at back in game three. He's fine. So he looked great the last couple of games. So um, Celtics look like they. I still like them to come out the East. But Cleveland, I like the way Cleveland look. Um, also. So um, got a long way to go. First round is pretty much over with. We go into the semis. By next week, we had the semis. Um, I'll let you guys know if I've got a show next week, depending on my work schedule. But yeah, we're definitely gonna get into all that. Um, but yeah, big game tonight. Lakers and T Wolves. That's the biggest game tonight, I think. Um, will the Lakers get sent home, or will they fight back to get to Minnesota? We'll see. Okay, so that's it for the NBA. Getting through the show pretty quickly. We 25 minutes in. Um, NFL, of course, the draft was last week. Almost a week ago. Of course, first round. Sherdeur didn't get picked. Wasn't really, wasn't surprised by that really. So day two comes. I think day two is what rounds 2 and 3. Then I think 4 and 7 is all Saturday. So he doesn't go in those 2 rounds either. So he finally goes in the 5th round, picked by the Cleveland Browns. Browns did kind of need a quarterback. So, but like I said, they had a high first round pick. Um, People thought the Giants may have been interested, but the Giants actually, Giants probably had a good draft. Got the kid from Penn State, the linebacker. Um, and then traded in the first round, traded it back in the first round to get um, Jackson Dart. I think he went to Ole Miss. So they got what they needed, but they didn't touch the door. The Saints didn't. They took quarterbacks and didn't take them. I think Sherdeur was the 5th quarterback taken overall. Tennessee made their decision on Cam Ward, so that's they made that decision early, probably like in February. They probably knew, okay, this is who we're gonna take. Um, but and then the other drama, the prank call, which wound up being Atlanta Falcons um, defensive coordinator's son, um, pranked a couple of players. Um, the NFL got to do something though. I mean, unfortunately, the father probably had no control over what happened. Um, and I don't want to call him I only want to call him a kid because of my age difference from him. I'm 41, he's 21. The kid was 21, but he's not a kid; he's a grown man. But that was just really terrible for him to do. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking. I guess being 21. I mean, I was 21. I'm trying to think of what I would have. I mean, I wouldn't have did nothing like that for fun, but you know, something got it. I mean, I think at least a fine. Um, I think the NFL need to step in. The Falcons pretty much said just apologize, but I don't think they're gonna discipline anybody. You can't. The son ain't a part of the roster. I mean, part of the team. So, um, but I think something should be done about it. I don't think it should just slide. Because then probably see more of this in the future if there's no repercussions. So I think just for that reason, at least fine the DC for it. Um, I mean, you don't have to suspend them or nothing, but at least fine them. You don't have to take draft picks. Somebody said draft picks. I think that is going too far because, um, but it's just unfortunate that happened. Um, and for Sherdeur, my personal opinion, to look at it on the football side, um, it's hard to explain. It's hard to understand because he was at minimum top 3 quarterback in this draft. I saw him play a few times at Colorado and at Jackson State. He looks like a pro quarterback to me. Um, but I guess maybe I mean, before I get into the other stuff like this, his attitude and all that stuff. But just strictly football. Of course, nobody, even Cam Ward to me, nobody in this draft is like a slam dunk choice, right? So, maybe maybe those teams, even Cleveland, maybe the Saints, and because they didn't take quarterbacks with those top picks. They either traded up to get a quarterback in the other rounds, but they didn't take a quarterback in the first round. So I kind of understand that part of it. But for him to go all the way to the fifth round, it was just wow. And all this stuff coming out that he ain't do well in the interviews and things of that nature. But I think the easy choice, well, the easy way to look at it, I think, um, which we have seen, is Deion Sanders. Maybe they don't want to deal with Deion, crying and maybe calling every day and things. And I'm not saying that's what Deion would do, but Deion would definitely have access to call the team, call the OC, call the coach, whoever the coach is. Um, every day. But maybe Taves didn't want to deal with that. Um, but they should just say that. But they basically were saying Sherdeur was felt entitled and all this other stuff. I heard theories about the NFL. They like to, which they do. They do. The NFL do like to prove points. They compared it to Kaepernick, which I understand the comparisons in a way because you know, like I was, I forgot back then when he was doing his protests and stuff, and he tried to get that workout, and the NFL set up the workout for him, and he pretty much blew the NFL off. That they lost money over that. Like the owners really run the league. Roger Goodell is like well, in every league, it's really the owners really running the league. It's not the commissioner. The commissioner basically they're the bad guy. Like they the one they do the suspensions and all that stuff. But the owners still run the league. The owners appoint the commissioner. So, um, because even at the draft, they was booing Roger Goodell. Yeah, like why? Like what do he do now? But the fans, but you gotta realize it's your own. But you can't. I guess you can't get rid of your owner unless he do some Donald Sterling stuff or something like that. That's the only way an owner can get. Or well, the NFL, Dan Snyder. Unless you're a Dan Snyder, you're not getting put out. You're not losing the team. So I guess they to reverse it and turn it back over to Gazelle. But to stay on Shador, yeah, I was surprised he went that fell that far. But the first round, I was like, okay, yeah, I mean, they can just probably get him in the second. I thought he was going to at least go in the second round. I thought, all right, they gonna use their second round pick on him. Um, but Cleveland did trade up to get him. They did give up a lot. But he's got to. It's gonna be tough for him though because Cleveland, even though Deshaun Watson is hurt, he's still there. I think they're gonna try to move on from him though. I don't know if they're just gonna cut him or what, but they re-signed Joe Flacco, so I think right now today, if the season started today, Flacco will be a starter. You got Kenny Pickett there, some experience. Even though he probably don't want you to call him that, I would imagine he's a Super Bowl quarterback. He was the backup to Jalen Hurts for Philly this past season. Um, Played at Pittsburgh, had some experience at Pittsburgh. Um, so we'll see what he brings to the table. And then they did take a quarterback. Um, uh, Let me see. I just look it up. I ain't gonna strain my brain. Um, he's basically the fourth quarterback in that room right now. So okay, let's look at. I had to pull up the Browns roster now. But yeah, so I could just probably pick up. I know what I can do. I go by teams. Then I just look up the Browns. Okay. Yeah, they took Gabriel out of Oregon. Yeah, and I knew it was like I know he went to a private school, so he's behind Gabriel probably also, as far as if you just go by drafts and stuff like that. But I think he got an outside shot of starting sooner than later, because Flacco's is temporary. He's just a bridge. We know that. But like I said, he probably be the starter unless something happened in preseason or he decide to take a step back. Um, we don't know Pickett still. We don't know what Pickett is still yet. Um, and of course, Gabriel is a rookie also. So Sherdeur got an outside shot, but he got to go in there and put his head down. I was listening to some football guys, like basically in practice. If you lower the depth chart, you don't get a lot of practice. You don't get a lot of reps. So basically, those little reps you got to flash, or But it's also possible he might not make the team at all. That's why I'm thinking Cleveland probably whoever they like the best, they probably keep and they might trade the other. I think as far as one of the rookies, they might try to flip Gabriel or Sherdeur. I think Sherdeur might get traded in the preseason, if there's any interest. Uh so look out for that also. But yeah, I mean he got drafted, make the best of what you got, make the best of your situation. And this situation ain't horrible, but it's not great for him. Um, but unless Flacco get hurt or Flacco himself decides, let the young kid play. Um, or let's just say Cleveland start off. He is the starter. He start off 0-4, 0-5. They might scratch the season. All right, let's get Pickett in there and see what he could do or whoever. This is that type of situation. Then that could be the case. So um, that's like I said. It's like I said. I don't know the kid. I don't know anybody, but for them to say that it was his attitude and all that alone, I just don't believe it. Or maybe, like I said, maybe somebody was like, well, maybe they believe he's really not that good. Maybe, you know. So, but we're gonna see. It's gonna be interesting all year long, all season long, all training camp, all preseason. People gonna really want to watch the preseason this year. This NFL season is gonna be another great and interesting one. So, um, but he just gotta stay positive and get to work. So, um, Browns got a decent team other than the quarterback. That's the biggest question is quarterback, but everywhere else they pretty decent. I think Nick Chubb is gone though. I think he went somewhere else. Um, that's why I'm about to pull up the rosters here. Let me see. Yeah, I'm just gonna pull up Cleveland's roster real quick because I think Nick Chubb is gone. But I mean, they still got decent receivers and things. Okay. But yeah, it's gonna be tough for Shador though. It's gonna be tough for him. Okay, roster. Man, let's go depth chart. So yeah, so Shador is like I said, the fifth quarterback. But yeah, yeah, Nick Chubb is gone. I don't even know where he is. I have to check that out. But yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough uphill battle for him. But I believe he can do it. I liked what I saw at Colorado, and even at Jackson State. A few games I saw there. So, um, and I think DR do need to, take a little bit of a step back. Don't be, as you call, a helicopter parent. Sort of let Sherdeur, you know, get his feet wet. Because it'll be the first time I think he ain't been coached by Dion. I think Dion coached him pretty much his whole life, his whole football career so far. So, um, and I think some teams probably was thinking, well, if how will he be without his dad? So it's a lot of elements you can look at the situation in, but um, like I said, we'll see how things unfold with this situation. So um, let's see. Is there any other NFL news to talk about other than that? We just about finished here. Um, no. Well, couple of contract signings. George Kittle is now the highest paid tight end in NFL history with the Niners 4 years, stitching $76.4 million. He deserves it. I think if you just go off the last 2 years, he's probably had a uh, better showing than Kelsey a little bit. I mean, I still would say Kelsey's the best tight end, but he's been right there. Um, also, of course, Mark Andrews. Other tight ends have been right there, but George is the best if you go off. Also, pass blocking um, and run blocking. He's great at that as well. So um, he deserved a contract. Well, for now he's the highest paid, but somebody, of course, probably before the year even starts, probably get a bigger contract. But congratulations to him. The Niners, I seen they draft. They pretty much went young on defense. To try to retool that, get back to steady defense there. Brock Purdy, pretty much about to get paid also. So, they lost Debo. So it's gonna be interesting to see how the Niners retool, but they're gonna be right there again. They got a decent team. Coach Shanahan gonna have them ready. So the Niners will be right there again. Them, the Rams. I like Arizona also. I think Seattle depends on Sam Darnold, but so that's gonna be an interesting division. They have NFC West. So, but yeah, he got a big contract. So, congratulations to George. And that's gonna be it for our show today. 43 minutes, not bad. Um, like I said, probably be back next week. I'm gonna look at my work schedule. I announce it um, sooner than later. Like I said, it's been a little bit of a rough week. Things going on at work, things going on behind the scenes. Just a lot going on. Basically, I ain't been to work since Sunday. I think was my last day of work. Yep. So no, Friday. Yeah, because I was off the whole weekend, and then yeah, so I had to miss a day the other day, so definitely want to try to get in there tomorrow, get my feet back wet again. They wanted me to work today. I said no. Um, just wanted the reason why I took off was to get my mind right, so I ain't want to go right back, even though I thought about it just to make up for yesterday. But no, I said no. uh, but there's a lot of stuff going on. As always, but we're gonna still keep pushing through, still try to keep the channel going. Thank you guys last night. Famous guys, a successful um, stream, and we didn't have no hiccups. So let's see, the stream ran very very smooth. I'll probably look at the video again also, just to see wasn't any mishaps, but I don't think it was. Um, so thank you guys for that last night. We had to go into this lab. Um, so hopefully I can continue with that. I'll probably make a video of that today. We'll try to get a Spider-Man 2 video today. Like I said, try to get a Ninja Gaiden 2 video up. I think Ninja Gaiden 2 be near the end of that. Um, like I said, I forgot about Dragon Ball Sparkle Zero. I gotta start doing videos of that again. I just got stuck on something with that, and Pacific Drive also. Um, got stuck with something on that also. Um, so I try to revisit those projects. Um, and thank you guys so much for joining us. Next week, like I said, it depends on what's going on. Hopefully, it'll be Wednesday or Thursday again. Um, Possibly Tuesday if I'm off Tuesday. Tuesday also is a day I can go live as well. So just stay tuned. I announce something the um, on the channel. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully you guys having a good week. Mine's is so. But I thank you guys so much, and I talk to you guys next week. Peace and love. NBA playoffs in full swing. NFL draft is now over, so about to be the dog days of summer. So we gonna talk a lot of baseball. So, but I still sneak in some NFL. NFL news is always something. It's always some news. So, all right. So that's my cue. I'm out of here. I'm getting an important phone call. I see you guys next week. Peace and love.